Let me get him where I fit in, homie. Let me get him where I fit in, homie. Let me get him where I fit in, homie. Let me get him where I fit in, homie. Who am I but I'm Dre Mac? Came into the game just to spit facts. Into the space that I'm in. Look at me by the Drake cause I'm cold with the pen. I find no diamonds but I feel shine. You can dig me cause my bar's mine. My tracks flame like a Gamu. The hardest part on my tongue, thinking is a warm blue. I'm a stove with a gas leak. Camouflage in the mist, but you smell me. One spark, then I bet you I'ma blow up. Just throw my name around, get stupid, then you go dumb. No rest for the weary, or versus thinking in his man, but you can't see me. You rather drink than go pull up, I'm drinking knife through the game, homie. Let me get him where I fit in, homie. Let me get him where I fit in, homie. Let me get him where I fit in, homie. Let me get him where I fit in, homie. I came to eat at the a la carte. Got stripped of a bear, call me brainstorm. Then I come together like a Voltron. Then I pour all the planks, you use a Debuncking. Straight rappers to retreats like Cobra. 80s they can throw they like. Up in the storage and I'm E-man. Up, down, down, man, I'm cheap. You a beast, man. I take a beat in. Ninja Turtle rap, Turtle Clans get defeated. Hot in my ride, you can call me Night Rider. You can never stop me, cause I'm a guy bomb. Bad attitude like a rocket, my whole to the A, and I bet you can stop us. LL bad, when I go and show up, you can hear the haters in the back. Let me get him where I fit in, homie. Let me get him where I fit in, homie.
What's up? What's up? What's up? What is going on, everybody? This is man Dre Mac coming to you again with another episode of the Dre Mac Show. 7:30 in the morning Central Time, 8:30 on the East Coast. You're from the West Coast. Get up, because the early bird gets the worm, and I am about to go in today because I got to talk about, all the backlash, from this Riri Williams, especially people that's arguing with me in my comment section, about Riri Williams. Oh, she's a DEIronman, and she wasn't relevant in the comments. She wasn't this, she wasn't that, yada, yada, yada. I'm about to put an end to all this mess and the notion that black women ain't good enough to be engineers. Oh, we got some education. Oh, get your seats ready. I got time today. I got time. I had to take my kids to the doctor yesterday. I ain't got to take nobody nowhere today. You know what I mean? So hopefully you guys are happy. Hopefully you guys are healthy. Shout out to my man Heavy Gan over at the Heavy Gan channel. But you already know what I'm about to do. The real question is, All right. Before we get started, let me see who is all in the house today. Let me see. Kid Gravity and Beyond. Shout out B1. B1 Night Rider. Check in. We may be really in the center's era of black films. Stories that connect with our nature and others can't grasp the nuance, so they lash out. Trust me, it's so sad, brother, that a lot of people don't even think that black women have the capacity to be engineers. I'm trying to tell you, I'm about to put an end on all of this. I'm about to give y'all a history lesson today. It's about to get real raw today. Marley Moore, what's up? Good morning. Hey, Tori and shout. Hey, look. I watched that. I listened to that whole thing when I was at work yesterday. And when old boy came in, you was like, Stevie Knight is in the house. Oh my God, I was in there dying. But I listened to the whole thing when I was working. Last night was in a different area. You know what I'm saying? Had some time, had the capacity to listen and just listen, man. It was really good one. And you did pick up something that I I didn't notice when because I didn't watch the reaction video to him going through his comment section. We knew he wasn't gonna go through his top section, his top comments. But you made a interesting observation, you know, when he kept referring to like Get Out, kept using his Get Out. That's why I wrote in your comment section. Get Out was his black friend. They were everybody like it. I like Get Out. You know, that's his way of saying, look, here's my black friend. He's cool. We like him. I just don't like him. To try to justify his ignorance, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? And his bigotry towards his own people. That's it. But man, shout out to Torian. If y'all not following Torian Rain Reloaded or y'all, if y'all haven't followed him by now, you watching my channel, something wrong with y'all. I'm gonna tell y'all now, something wrong with y'all. But you have inspired me because of your opening. You have inspired me to dust out an oldie but goodie today. You'll see, Tori. You would know what I'm talking about. Roberta, the church auntie. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Do you know, church auntie, this ain't gonna be no cussing today. This ain't gonna be no cussing because I'm not in my feelings. I'm in an education mode today. And somebody gonna get that work today. They're gonna get the education on black engineers, black women engineers. I know some people got problem with female. It's always something. You can't say anything. You know what I mean? But anyway, Junior Network, good morning, good morning, good morning. Robbie D, the admin, good morning, good morning, good morning. Make sure that you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. My man Duran, Malik, Hassan Bey, Wakwan, what's going on? What's up? What's up? I'm glad you up in here, bro. I am glad you up in here. My brother, Super Six Shot. What's up, bro? What's up? What's up? What's up? Let me see. Carol Black, what's up? What's up? What's up? Yeah, he was. Yeah, when he echoed the echo chamber thing too. Yeah, that was good. That was you observed me. You hit that. I was like, yeah, I love that because he told on himself. He told on himself. Gray, what's up? What's up? What's up? Good morning. The other admin up in here, Xavier Phoenix. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Now, y'all already know that my live shows are for everybody. You don't even have to be a subscriber or anything. You know, just come. You know, and enjoy everything that I'm doing here. But I'm telling y'all now, admins, if folks are coming in here acting a fool, boot them today because I'm not playing with folks today. I'm not, because we are. First of all, it's sad that every time that something is black, it's got to be DEI. It's got to be it's got to be woke. It's got to be this. It's got to be that. There's all these caveats, and I'm sick. I'm sick of it. You know what I mean? I'm actually technically sick of that particular rhetoric myself. You know what I mean? So on this one today, I'm about to make some folks mad because one thing people don't do, people don't research any information. It's just like, you know, research information. It's like when, you know, on the Boondocks was like, you know, the thing that harms certain people is reading. You know what I mean? Some people don't want to read. You know, some people don't want to do anything. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to introduce the character of Riri Williams, you know, so people can understand who she is, why she was created, how old she is, all this stuff, and why her character was so significant when she was introduced, you know, by Brian Michael Bendis, and then turned around and was written by Dr. Eve Ewing, another sister who was a writer not only for Ironheart but for not only for Ironheart, but Dr. Eve Ewing wrote for Black Panther. I believe she wrote for Ms. Marvel. She wrote for the Champions, which Riri Williams was part of the Champions. So yeah, we about to get some education today. We are about to get some education today because I'm tired of y'all trying to say that Riri Williams is the DEI hire. You know, I'm trying to tell you, I'm just loading up ammo right now. I'm loading up ammo. As we speak right now, I'm loading up every single piece of information that I could possibly find. That I found, you know what I mean? and why all you guys' takes are stupid. You know what I mean? Especially the ones that was black that was fighting me. I got something for y'all. So let me start off, before I get to anything, let me shout out all of the people who support the channel. Of course, this is, if you haven't liked to share for the channel, this is your first time, like and share and subscribe to the channel. But let me shout out today's sponsors. Hold up, wait a minute, whoa. Stop everything you're doing. Go and hit that like button. I know this is probably your first time watching and you probably enjoying everything. Stop fucking on the channel and go and hit that subscribe button so you never miss one of my videos or one of my morning live streams. And for only $2.99 a month, you can be a part of the crew. And shout out to all my crew members that have been holding it down for Dre Mack and the crew since the beginning. All right, back to your regularly scheduled program, now in service. Go. Bye. All right. I'm about to say something else. Shout out to everybody who is a part of the crew who with that $2.99 membership helps my channel a lot. Y'all really have no idea how much you guys help my channel, but you help my channel a lot, and I really appreciate it. So shout out to everyone that is in the that's a part of the crew, who subscribes, who continue to their subscription. I really appreciate y'all. Rashad Walker, good morning. Be positive. Good morning. No, people are not going to bring up that it's not as successful as people thought it. They thought it was going to be fiscally or financially, but it's all good. But I want to give a disclaimer before I get started. Because Tommy, what's going on? Tommy D is up here. What's up? I want to give a disclaimer because there was a lot of black people who was black males that was going hard at me in the comments saying this character sucks. This character wasn't popular in the comics. Her comic didn't sell. Because when Dr. Eve Ewing wrote her, they stopped at 12 issues. Now, me and Chillmonger had a conversation about this months ago, which we believe that the reason why Marvel is doing a lot of their characters, because I got multiple runs of Deadpool. Deadpool is one of the most popular characters in comics. Only had 15-issue run. Black Panther, 15 issues. You know what I'm saying? Or 12 issues or 13 issues is a short run. The reason why, and we have come to believe, is that it's easier for them to do the trade paperback. That's what it is. It's easier for them to do the trade paperback. So they get enough, subscriptions in to be able to, or enough stories in to be, to be able to have that trade paperback. And 9 times out of 10, the trade paperback actually sells a lot better than the actual comic run. It is what it is. But in the words of Egon Spangler, print is dead, and people go more towards digital, whether they do it the legit way or illegitimate way. People do go and read a lot more comics now digitally than they do back in the past. You know what I mean? So let's get that out the way. Let's debunk one thing. When people were talking about Riri Williams and do I still got it? Hold on. Because Dr. Eve Ewing was talking about her run, or when they were talking about Dr. Eve's Ewing's run, they start off with like, yeah, it's good, but Dr. Eve Ewing has a tendency in some of her characters to kind of shift the story, like kind of more, it's more like atmospheric based instead of more central to the character. It takes a lot longer to kind of get ramped up and stuff like that. When I was doing the Black Panther run, that's one of the issues that we ran into. There's good stories, but is it really centered around T'Challa? And there was the same issue that we had with Dr. Eve Ewing's run. So the same thing with her Champions run. I believe her Miss Marvel run, was like that. It's just it kind of tails off into something else, and you're like, look, we want the character to get back to status quo, but she's trying to tell a different story, which I'm not mad at. Now, let me just say this: I am not defending Marvel, Disney, whatso flipping ever. I'm not doing it, because one thing that Marvel did, even with the character Riri Williams in the MCU, is they introduced her as a MacGuffin. Not, you know what I'm saying? Yes, she has a technical genius or whatever, but the way they introduced her, without Blue, the way they introduced the character was technically a MacGuffin in Black Panther Wakanda Forever. So, when they introduced her like that, it really didn't explore more of her character. Have those intimate moments where you can sit down and you can talk about your past and you know what, being honest with you, I don't even know if she did that or not. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know if she did that or not. Tina, what's good? I don't know if she did that or not. Then she had that intimate moment with Shuri where she's actually, talking about her past and why she does it, and and why this is very important to her. I literally haven't watched that movie after the 2 times that I watched it. Well, I keep telling you the same story. First time I watched it, I cried through it because I didn't totally agree with the way that they did it and the way that they used the death of Chadwick Boseman to push that movie. I just did not like that. It made it a plot of the movie. I did not like that. So the second time I watched it, since I already knew it was coming, I wasn't so emotional and watched it for the movie that it was. But I have not went back and watched that movie since. It's a little too much for me. You know what I mean? So that's the only reason why. Now, before I get into my rant, I want to play something for y'all, and let's go there. Let me play something for y'all, and then we're going to get into the conversation.
Taste the biscuit. Taste the goodness of the biscuit. Taste the honey sauce. Taste the goodness of the biscuit with the honey sauce.
So before I get in my rant for you shoe booty Negroes that was in my comment section talking crazy about a black character because you don't like her because she's black. You know what I mean? Because she's a black woman that is intelligent, and you white folks too that was coming in there talking crazy. But I'm really going at the melanated people who was talking crazy. Shout out to Evolutionary Comics, for that tidbit. A lot of the melanated people that was coming in there talking crazy, that's for y'all. Y'all been warned. All that shoe bootying, all that buck dancing, all that tap dancing y'all doing, all that butter biscuit eating mess that y'all doing. Yeah, I dare y'all come in here today. Roberta, the spirit might come, and I ain't talking about the Holy One too. I want that one to come, but I'm telling you, any of you shoe booty Negroes coming here talking crazy about a sister, even though it's a fictional character. That's what's so bad about it. This is a fictional universe, and even some of my own melanated people don't believe that sisters can graduate from MIT, can be intelligent, can build their own suits. Why is this so crazy that Tony Stark build it's cool for Tony Stark to build a mech suit, in a cave with a box of scraps and everybody cheers for it. Or Obadiah Stane's people who legitimately built a ironmonger suit. That's okay, right? Justin Hammer for Hammer Tech I'm just talking about in the MCU, right? He builds mech suits. He built a robotic army, right? That's cool. You know what I mean? That's cool. A young black sister makes it, and then this is where we have a problem, right? And then the buck dancing. that I seen from Negroes coming in my comment section was absolutely ridiculous. Technically, this is dedicated to y'all. This is technically dedicated to y'all because I already know what racist folks gonna do. Racist people gonna do racist things. Duh. You know what I mean? And I told y'all before, it's a shame that I gotta fight against my own people when it comes to this. That's what sucks. So one thing that I want to acknowledge first is, oh, well, and this is for the white ones that kept bringing this up. You know what? This is just DEIronman. Well, let's go to the board for just a second so I can educate you just for a moment. If you don't mind, I want to have your time because I want to show you who benefits truly, right? Who benefits truly from DEI? Because this is the theme that's always brought up. DEI. It's a DEI hire. Why they gotta hire this? DEI. But guess what? This was written January 31st, 2025. And don't say this was a couple years ago. Don't say this is nothing. Let me read this. Diversity, equity, and inclusions, DEI initiatives have been a major focal point in corporate America, educational system, institutions, and government programs. These initiatives aim to level the playing field for historically marginalized communities, ensuring fair treatment and equal opportunities. However, while DEI is designed to benefit all underrepresented groups, studies show that the primary beneficiaries have been white women. White women. What's up, the Sick Horror Kingdom? What's up, Rashad Walker? White women. In this blog, we explore why DEI is essential in America, how it contributes to the economic and social progress, and why white women have seen the most significant gains from these programs. Now, remember, when people were talking about affirmative action, black people wasn't truly benefiting from affirmative action either. Guess who benefited from affirmative action also? White women. All you white men that come over here and you got your booty hole tight because you see a sister that's intelligent, smart, and not twerking on stage for your entertainment. Guess what? Your queen is the one who's being represented most in DEI. That's who the marginalized groups that should be getting the benefits don't. It still stays in the white society, the white dominant society, which means technically the white supremacy ideology that goes around about the position of power and who has that power. You guys still have the power. You guys are He-Man and She-Ra when it comes to white supremacy, the white supremacy structure, because you still benefit. Even though y'all want to say it's us, y'all always want to put black people. Play it's DEI. This is DEI. But we're not benefited for DEI. And Riri Williams was introduced in the Invincible Iron Man, number 1, I believe, in 2016. Was there a DEI program in 2016? It was still affirmative action. But you guys were still benefiting. That's who was benefiting you guys. Now, for the shoe booties that, wanted to talk crazy about sisters, I can't, and I read a Reddit post that said she could have been a biologist, something like that. That's believable, a scientist, but she could build a tech like Iron Man, which that's not even real. Ain't nobody walking around with an Iron Man outfit on, flying around, shooting missiles and all kinds of crap and unibeams out of it. That's not real. But you know what is real? Shirley Jackson at MIT, 1973. Shirley Ann Jackson, class of 1968, got her PhD in 1973 of Washington, D.C., was one of the first black women to earn a bachelor's degree and the first to earn a PhD from MIT. During her undergraduate and graduate years at the Institute, Jackson advocated for the recruitment and retainment of Black students. Her efforts included co-founding the Black Student Union in 1968. Guess what was going on in 1968? Can anybody in my comments tell me what was going on in 1968? What was significant about 1968, or actually, from 1964 really to 1968? What was the significance of that year? Put it in the comment section. The first Black woman to graduate from MIT with a PhD in what? Physics. Physics. Ring a bell? Ring a bell about physics? And if you put civil rights, you're correct. And racism. But most definitely civil rights. We were still fighting for civil rights, and this young Black sister was co-founding the Black Student Union around that time and working with the administration to advocate racial equity at the Institute. Today, Jackson serves as the 18th president of Rensselaer Polytechnic Institution and is a permanent member of the MIT Corporation. Sister, in 1968, nothing bothers you about that? All right, let's go. Since you shoe booty Negroes always want to talk about, we're playing the victim. You know what I mean? Because all this woke propaganda stuff, because all Riri is just woke propaganda. Let me introduce you to the Golden Blocks, and shout out to the Golden Blocks, because the Golden Block shared this interesting, let me share my tab, interesting article about 13 Black women in STEM you should know, which we already know: science, technology, engineering, and science, is what makes up STEM, right? To say that Black women are a rare breed in science, technology, engineering, and science will be an understatement. In 2012, white women racked up 677 PhDs in STEM fields, according to the National Science Foundation. African-American women, on the other hand, earned 684. White men, for comparison's sake, received 8,478. In honor of Black History Month, here are 13 African-American women from yesteryear to today who defy immeasurable odds and continue to pave the way for the girls who would succeed them. This is where I'm going to get to Riri Williams, her being in Chicago, and why this is so important and why her comic did not suck. We may see more of them and we may be inspired. We may raise them. Now, I'm not going to read everybody's bio, right? I'm not going to read everybody's, bio, but I am going to read, the general stuff. Susan McKitty Stewart, born in Brooklyn, 1847. Susan McKitty Stewart was the third Black woman to earn a medical degree in the United States and the first in the New York State. She found her calling in medicine after her brother's death in the Civil War and a cholera epidemic that swept through New York City in 1866 and claimed the lives of 1,137 people. Through the daughter of a wealthy pig farmer, she paid her own way through a medical school by offering singing lessons, also graduated valedictorian. McKitty Stewart maintained a lifelong focus on prenatal care and childhood disease. Besides running her own practice in Brooklyn, she co-founded the Brooklyn Women's Homeopathic Hospital and Dispensary and worked as a college physician at the African Methodist Episcopal Church, Wilberforce University in Ohio. She also sat on the board and practiced medicine at the Brooklyn Home for the Aged Colored People. That's in 1847. Belinda Newman, a hairdresser by trade, but a woman of many talents, one of the organizers of the African-American branch of the Women's Suffrage Party, party, which fought for women's rights to vote. Newman conveys neighborhoods and organized meetings to raise awareness for gender equality. Newman was also the first president to create a hairbrush that used synthetic bristles instead of animal hair. In 1898, she received a patent for her hairbrush, which included recessed air chambers to remove ventilation and remove compartments for collecting and emptying debris. Funny thing is, the majority of people, what's up, Sheed? I see you up in here. What the crazy thing is, who benefits for using a hairbrush now? Who benefits for using a hairbrush? You know what I mean? Who uses a hairbrush now? A black woman uses a hairbrush, white folks. When you go on races, that hairbrush you using, thank Linda Newman. Bessie Blunt. Bessie Blunt was a physical therapist from New Jersey who invented a device that helped handicapped soldiers return from the Second World War feed themselves if they had lost limbs. Her electric device dispensed liquefied food through a tube and a mouthpiece that would be used whether it's the user is sitting up or laying down. Biting on the tube signaled the machine to deliver another mouthful, which actually sounds like, what up, Mickey G? Which actually sounds like something, I don't know, an Iron Man suit would do. You know what I mean? And this was done during the Second World War, right? I need y'all to put more respect on my sisters. 1951, Blunt patented a portable receptacle support, featured a brace that could hang around the neck along with an attachment for a cup or a bowl that allows someone with arm injuries to hold something close to their face, to his or her face. Working at hospitals led to Blunt to observe a relationship between physical health and handwriting characteristics. Expanding on this, she published a technical paper on medical graphologies, which jump-started a career in handwriting analysis and forensics. Aisha Bowe ignored the advice from her guidance counselor who suggested a career in cosmetology. Instead, she pursued degrees in aerospace engineering before winding up at NASA, where she works as a mission engineer while mentoring students in her role as liaison to Mathematics, Engineering, Science, and Achievement Program. Today, Bowe is a co-founder and CEO of the STEM Board, a certified economically disadvantaged women's own small business that creates software solutions for government and the private sector clients. The organization also runs educational workshops to expose historical or underrepresented youth to technology concepts such as coding and engineering. April Erickson Jackson. April Erickson Jackson is no stranger to FIRST. She was the first African-American woman to receive a PhD in medical engineering from Howard University and the first African-American woman to receive a PhD in engineering from NASA Goddard Space Flight Center. With more than a decade of experience in structural dynamics and controls of aerospace missions under her belt, she helps manage a science instrument such as the Advanced Tentographic Laser Altimeter System, which uses lasers to measure ice sheets, depths, and the height of vegetation canopies. She is also the instrument manager for a proposed mission to bring dust back from the lower atmosphere of Mars back to Earth. What it sounds like is there's literally black women, that's doing a whole lot of engineering out here. Shoe booties and racists. It sounds like there's women out here that's smart enough, you know what I mean? They're just more than throwing their ass in a circle. They're more than just twerking. They're more than just eyelashes and big booties and BBLs and all of that stuff you watch on TikTok. The stuff that's consuming your brain to think that anything that a black woman or a black man does is DEI when we don't benefit it on the first place. We're literally underrepresented when it even comes to engineering. I live in a neighborhood, in my neighborhood, where they took away the STEM program, where a lot of kids was benefiting from. A lot of black kids was benefiting from the STEM programs, and they took away the funding. They had no problem rebuilding about to cuss, Roberta, a football field. a football field. That was more important than a STEM program for for black youths in my community. And I live in more of a middle class community, but still they felt the football team was more important, who won 2 games, than kids could be in these STEM programs creating new engineers, expanding the minds of these engineers. You see what I mean? But nah, y'all want a shoe booty. Y'all want to be butter eating, biscuit eating fools that think black women can't sit up here and create anything. That's, I think, what bothered me the most. Is that you guys want to put this and she's replacing this, and how could she this and how can she that, when women way back in the 1800s was creating stuff then. A way for you to be able to eat when you got a problem, with your limbs, or you're hurt or you're missing a limb. A way for you to brush that Roberta, Roberta, I'm trying my hardest. But I don't like the fact that they thought it was, you think you shoot booties, you know what I mean? And you racists think it's okay to disrespect my people, to disrespect my sisters. Let's keep going. Nola Heighton. No, before I get to that, let me get to this super chat. Thank you so very much, Jamal Lee, for the $20 super chat. Teachers Dre, respect to black women. Jamal Lee, thank you so very much. I really appreciate it. For the super chat. Let's go.
You are truly amazing. Thank you for your super chat.
See, what I want, because I'm not going to go through all of them, but what I want to do is just give you the basis. This is just 13 of the ones that you could know. There's plenty of more women that have done a lot of, imaginable things out here. All right, I'm gonna do Nola, and then I'm gonna just say the names of the other ones. Nola Hilton, the veteran cancer researcher. Nola Hilton played an integral role in the development of the MRI technology for the detection, the diagnosis of breast cancer. She is one of the ones who helped develop MIR technology. If you have a woman in your life that has had breast cancer, and they went and detected it, y'all can thank Nola Hilton for creating the technology to detect it. You know what I mean? Y'all should thank Nola Hilton. She was among the first group of scholars named the Susan G. Coleman for the Cure Scientific Advisory Council and co-leader for the United States Department of Health, Human Services, and Women's Health International groups, where she identified and addressed barriers to clinical dissemination of breast cancer MRI. So I'm about to go just through some of these. Ashante Johnson, she held up as one of the leading oceanographers of her generation. So she's an oceanographer. Talia Moore, Berkeley native. Talia Moore received a PhD in biostatistics of the University of California, Berkeley. After postdoctorate stint of University of California, Los Angeles, UCLA. She joined the Berkeley Public Health Division to address health inequities. Aletha Maybach, Associated Commissioner of the New York City Department of Health and Mental Hygiene. She envisions a neighborhood where everyone eats healthy foods, plays clean, and has parks. These women are doing amazing things. In 2012, she co-created We Are Doc McStuffin movements to spotlight the real-life African-American female doctors who inspired the Disney Junior animated character Doc McStuffins. Dina Perrin, the founder and executive director of DEIronman Teen, a STEM arts education program that provides underrepresented teens with mentoring and career exploration services. She got over 13,256 young people of color towards careers in STEM and education. And not only does she help African Americans, Latino males, and organizations inclusive of all youth who fall within the non-traditional STEM learning categories, including girls. Dorothy Lavinia Brown, was the first female surgeon of African American ancestry for the southeastern United States. She was also the first African American female to serve in the Tennessee General Assembly, which she elected to the Tennessee House of Representatives. Women doing great things. Yvonne Clark was a pioneer African American in women engineers. She was the first woman to get a bachelor's degree in science and medical engineering at Howard University. She also got her degree at Vanderbilt University. First woman to serve as a faculty member of the College of Engineering and Technology at Tennessee State. And then Emerity professor. Valerie Thomas is an American scientist and inventor. She invented the illusion transmitter, which receives a patent in 1980. She was responsible for developing the digital media format image processing system used in early years at Landsat program. So this is just to highlight, and this is just what Golden Box had, but this is just to highlight, women that were doing amazing things in STEM, whether she was, helping the community, whether she was getting underprivileged youth, or she was actually helping people get into space, walk on the moon, all of that. Just Black women are out here doing that. Why is this significant for Riri Williams, right? When Brian Michael Bendis created this character, he created this character in 2016, right? I don't think I'm sharing my tab. Created this character in 2016, right? I want to show you also some, because again, I'm here to educate today. Hold on. Give me just a second. See if I can still find the FBI information on this. So let me show you guys this, because this was let me share my screen, because this was very, very hard, and you guys remember what was going on in Chirac, right? This is what was going on in Chirac. In 2016, Chicago saw a dramatic increase in youth homicides, particularly young Black men, with the rate of Black males, adolescents killed by firearms reaching 365.3 per 1,000. This was significantly higher than the national rate. The Chicago's overall adolescent firearm homicide rate being about 3 times the national rate. This spike in violence was largely concentrated in Pacific neighborhoods and disproportionately impacted young Black men, right? Young Black men was getting killed. Young Black women, men and women, but more not, young Black men, right? Let me see if I could get more information in this PDF. So if you look here, like I said, in 2016, the death toll was crazy. It was crazy, and Chicago was bad. They was calling it Chirac, all of that. It was bad. Again, young Black, they go to show young Black males, but young Black women were losing their lives too in Chirac, right? Was losing their lives. This is what makes Riri Williams just hope. Just hope. That's it. A fictional character that can be a symbol of hope. Now, is she a derivative of Tony Stark by being a tech genius who creates a suit? Yes, she is. Right? Yes, she is. But you know who also are derivatives? Who's a derivative of a person who's a symbol of hope? Why is it okay for them to create Supergirl, right? but not, you know, another person just as smart as Iron Man. You know, why is, we can create a super girl, super dog, super boy, you know, um, Eradicator, Steel, all these clothes, Bizarro, Ultraman. Everybody can have a derivative. The Century, Hyperion, all of these are derivatives of one character. I'm just using one character. But the first time that a black woman, a white man, seen the things that was happening in freaking Chicago, man. Seeing the things that was happening in Chicago, and said, you know what? It'd be dope to create a character that's a tech genius that's coming from that same type of neighborhood, but she makes it. She lost her best friend and her stepfather, but she still made it and wanted to do better despite the things that was going on. Let me give you a brief history of Riri Williams. Riri Williams was born shortly after the death of her father, Riri Williams Sr. She grew up in the South Shore neighborhood of Chicago, Illinois. All of my Chicagoans, let me know what South Shore is, or if that's realistic or not. Living with her sister Sharon and their mother Ronnie and their stepfather. When Riri was 5 years old, behavioral problems led her parents to consult a child psychologist who certified Riri as a super genius after undergoing several studies or several tests. At the psychologist's recommendation, Riri's parents looked into a special care to foster her abilities while also giving her emotional support. So what it sounds like is that her parents was integral to her development. Let's not poo-poo that. Her parents was integral to her development, right? Riri's level of intelligence caused her to retreat inside her own mind and become an introvert. Sounds very familiar. She met her only friend, Natalie Washington, when she was 10 years old after Riri caught Natalie's attention while working at her open garage on some inventions meant to hopefully help superheroes one day. A year after that, Riri was given a scholarship at MIT. Tragedy struck Riri when she was 13 years old. While having a picnic at Marquette Park, Riri, her family, and Natalie was caught in a line of fire when a drive-by shooting hit some bystanders. Even though Riri was unscathed, both Natalie and Riri's stepfather was hit by stray bullets and died. Now, I gave you, oh, okay. Thanks, Sikora. I see you in there. So what it sounds like, what we just seen from the statistics that was going on here in Chicago, especially in 2016, that's not out of the realm of possibilities that can happen. It's not a realm. So it sounds like there was a little bit of truth that was going on. And Brian Michael Bendis was trying to give somebody some hope. So building the first suit, what started as a challenge for herself, ended up becoming a secret project to create her own suit of armor. After reverse engineering technology from the outdated Iron Man armor model 41, Riri started creating her own prototype version of the Iron Man armor using mainly stolen material from campus. When security caught notice of her suspicious activity, Riri decided to don the suit of armor and fly away. Similar to what we saw in Black Panther Wakanda Forever, right? Reverse engineering. Now, people reverse engineering things is not nothing common. There is literally people that reverse it, that literally, like when I was a kid, my cousin Marty, he was younger than us. Literally, y'all remember if y'all old enough, he would literally take a radio apart or a boombox apart and put it back together. We were literally 8, 9 years old. We'll literally put it back together. Like, take it all apart and remember. I'm talking about this kid was smart. You know what I mean? My cousin Marty was smart. But then also, I had to keep it a buck because the streets. You know what I mean? The streets. Hold on real quick. Let me see if I can find this. Spud it, Robert. I don't care. Hold on real quick. I'm just trying to find let's just for the sake of argument, let's say for instance, this is way to go. A black kid gets tons of scholarships and right wingers go mask off. This was a year ago. Right? This was a year ago. Northern California teen accepted to 122 universities with 5.3 million in scholarships. Young black kid. Black privilege on full displays. Asian kid was same grade would be going to community college, which is very untrue. The Asian folks would never allow that to happen. You see, when black people do great imaginable things, this is where we get hit at. When we go and do things that are greater than what they believe that we are, because these are the same people that didn't think that thought that we were 3/5 human and all this stuff. But we are out here building inventions, doing great things, getting scholarships, and even when you write it in fiction, this is what happens. They think that they're replacing Iron Man, which, let me keep going. Before I get to that super chat real quick, let me read this real quick and go from there. After flying around the country trying to get the hang of her Sue's flying capabilities, Riri intercepted a couple of inmates escaping from the New Mexico State Penitentiary. She managed to stop the speeding truck they were using to use it as an escape vehicle, but at the cost of her armor's integrity. Riri eventually returned to the house to keep working on the suit, much to her mother's dismay. After learning of Riri's accomplishments, Tony Stark visited her and chose to endorse Riri's desire to become a superhero. Using a repaired version of her armor, Riri later assisted Iron Man during the second superhero Civil War, fighting against the forces of Captain Marvel. Now, I want to mind you of something. She was basically like Tony Stark's understudy. This is no different than Robin. And how many times have Batman got into Robin? Whether it was Tim Drake, whether it was Damian Wayne, whether it was Dick Grayson, it didn't matter. It didn't matter. It did not matter. Why does it make y'all, why did you clutch your butt cheek so hard for a black woman to be the understudy for Tony Stark? She's literally in the comics. She was part of the Champions. You might not like her run because you can't see a black woman being that smart. But damn it, I got sisters that's hella smart. I got sisters out here doing amazing things while you over here, butt hurt. You know what I'm saying? And doing God knows what, you know what I'm saying, to what you see on the internet from black women. See, it's funny. You like black women's body, but you don't like their brain. When they show you their intelligence, you can't take it. And you shoe booty Negroes is right up there with them. All right, Roberta, let me get to that super chat. Thank you so very much for the $10 super chat. Question of the day. What are your thoughts about the Christian commentators who are coming after Michael B. Jordan because he is Babaloa? Who are saying boycott centers, can you separate actor or performer? What I want a lot of Christians to understand this. The reason why a lot of people are one of the main reasons why people are walking away from Christianity, because y'all are missing the last commandment that that Yeshua gave his people before he ascended. Love thy neighbors like you love yourself. Would you want anybody talking about Christianity? No. So why are you talking about somebody else's religion that has nothing to do with you? And that's my answer to that. You know, no different than the shoe booties who can't see past their own ignorance to see that, yes, a black woman in a fictional universe could just be just as smart as a white guy, and you need to get over yourself. That's just my answer. But let me go ahead and give you this.
You are truly amazing. Thank you for your super chat.
You said, let me see. You said there is a difference between someone being that smart like Riri and doing it well like Shuri. Oh, okay. Okay. But because I know most of y'all don't read comics. I know most of y'all do not read comics. So let me explain stuff. Jay, but again, D Sizzle, you read comics. Demon in the Bottle. Who was Iron Man? During Demon in the Bottle. Who was Iron Man? You see what I mean? So he had an opportunity to be Iron Man, right? It technically, we haven't seen it. I don't know. And like I said, I'm not about to give Marvel no props whatsoever. Now, I know, because I'm a realist, I know that Marvel had a problem with marketing. But we can't forget that we did have the writer's strike or whatever and everything to delay the process of Riri. What my problem with Marvel, and it has been a problem, they're popping it up in shows that nobody was really watching like that, not the casual audience, right? So the casual audience wasn't really watching What If. They'll watch the movies, they might watch a show if it gets enough hype, but they wasn't really watching What If. And that's where you saw Shang-Chi. That's where you saw Riri Williams pop up. That's when you saw Shuri pop up. Right? But as far as the actual shows, they were completely absent. Completely absent. Now, I want you to also understand that in the comics, she's 15. I honestly don't remember from Black Panther Wakanda Forever how old she is. I don't know if she's still a teen or anything like that in this show. I don't know. We're not going to find out until the show comes up. But, they didn't really, give an answer to Riri's age. Now Shuri in the first Black Panther movie was a lot younger. She was a teen. But again, if she was out here doing, first of all, let me just say this. If Tony Stark was literally about to give a young black kid, gave him a scholarship, he was a recipient, but he died on the in the events, and I'm talking about MCU, died in the events of Sokovia, then what's the difference between Riri Williams and that kid? You see what I mean? What it's showing me is that we have a lot of people who don't read comics, who don't know nothing about characters, who don't know nothing about that derivative characters that have been around for centuries. For every Flash, there's a Quicksilver. For every Batman, there's a Nighthawk. Right? For every Hulk, there's an Abomination or a Tombstone. For every Tombstone, there's a Luke Cage. You know what I mean? Or Hot Wing. Let's not bring up Hot Wing. You know what I mean? Let's not bring up DC's Hot Wing. That is the most racist character on the face of the planet. But anyway, there's always a derivative character. But the problem that I always have is that when it shows black intelligence, that's when the shoe booties and the racists want to have a problem. That's the problem that I have. You know what I mean? They taste a little bit of drug in the but wouldn't go full. Nah. And they probably wouldn't do that in the Iron Man based on Robert Downey Jr.'s real life, which it would have been better television, would have been better movies, better storytelling, but didn't want to match the real life situation that was going on with Tony Stark and Robert Downey Jr. They didn't want to mix Robert Downey Jr. and Tony Stark, but they had no problem doing that with T'Challa, which again, So right now, I'm gonna read some of you guys' comments. American Need You Girl, what's up? What's up? What's up? Let me put myself back on screen. But I wanted to show, for one, that there's a lot of women. That's the thing. Sikora Kingdom, she doesn't have to be. What is the significance of she being, the top 10 smartest people in Marvel? What is the significance of that? They're still going to have world-ending events. They're still going to need the aid of supervillains and superheroes. It's a cycle that goes on the end of time. And because this company is still run by Marvel, they're still going to go to the Tony Starks. They might go to T'Challa. They're going to go to the Reed Richards. They're always going to go to those people first. Because, again, this is a problem that I had with Falcon. The problem that I have with Falcon is because they made him a sidekick and then said, well, if I put you in the white man's outfit that was donned by white people before that, let's keep it real. John Walker, Bucky Barnes, and Steve Rogers is what? White men. And the writer said, well, I'm going to just put him as Captain America because I want to elevate this character. To put him in the white man's suit, that's elevating the character. When you have Falcon here the whole time, and just elevate him as Falcon. Make Falcon prominent. Make Falcon great. Now, how about that? You know how easy that is to make Falcon just as equal to Captain America? But they didn't want to. They thought the easier way is to put this man in the red and white stripes, and that's good enough for them. That's okay. What? And the same thing that goes on all the time. You have all these smart characters. You have all these particular people, but they don't want to elevate them. This is literally a problem with comics, comic editors. This has been a problem. And then, do you see any of the, with all this DEI talk, what characters have they really elevated to the same status as a Tony Stark? T'Challa died off, but they didn't put Shuri, and they were trying to make Shuri like she was just as smart as T'Challa, when in the comics, they can't hold a candle to T'Challa. It is what it is. He's just as smart, if not smarter, than Reed Richards, who was considered the smartest man in Marvel Comics. Adam Brashear, great, thank you. Adam Brashear, one of the smartest men in comics. Are they going to elevate him? Are they going to put him on screen? No. No, they won't. They rather like I said, I love Century as a character, but you have Monica Rambeau already there. Like literally, you got a superhero team right there. You bring in Adam Brashear, you got Black Panther, T'Challa. You got America Chavez already there. But again, because the way that Marvel is, I'm not giving Marvel no credit. None whatsoever. They're under that Disney umbrella. Let me remind you guys that Disney did not believe in Black Panther. Matter of fact, like I said, I got time today. And I'm being good. I'm being good. I have not just went on a cussing rant. I want to, but I haven't. Let me show you something. If it hasn't been scrubbed on the internet. Let me show you something. And this is the reason why I'm trying to tell you that, support of Riri Williams, is essential. Again, y'all gonna do what y'all want to do anyway. I'm not telling you what you do. I'm just saying it's essential. This is why. While Bob Iger, Disney CEO, noticed some internal skepticism about Black Panther's international performance, it's not accurate to say Disney outright didn't believe in the project. Iger also stated that the Marvel Studios president, Kevin Feige, was enthusiastic about the film from the beginning. The internal pushback stemmed from concerns about whether a film with a Black lead could succeed internationally, not a complete lack of belief in the character or the project. Bob Iger mentioned in his book that Marvel executive was hesitant about the film due to concerns about international box office, suggested that international success was not guaranteed for a movie with a Black lead. Really, they didn't believe in the project. Let's be honest. They believed that they were going to make Ant-Man money. They didn't believe internationally because with a Black lead, they don't believe in us. Now, this was a point where Disney could have stepped up, because let's be honest, Chadwick was still a relative unknown. He became a superstar, a megastar after Black Panther. He became a megastar. But they didn't believe they ain't gonna make no money internationally. Bad Boys did. But there was also an investor who said that he did not believe. Why do I have to watch a movie with a Black lead? Even Lupita Nyong'o came out and said, I don't believe, we didn't believe, that they could be able to, hold on, let me see if the Business Insider still has this. But, let me go back. So one of the investors was quoted saying, and I'm not quoting word for word. I'm just giving a, my take of what he said. He said, why do I have to watch a movie with all women? I don't have no problem with women, but why do I have to watch an all Black movie with a Black lead? Was one of the investors said. So let me see if it's let me see. So let me see. Marvel executives was opposed. Let me see. The Disney CEO Bob Iger revealed in his new book, The Ride of a Lifetime: Lessons Learned from 15 Years as CEO of Walt Disney Company, that a Marvel executive in New York was opposed to make it Black Panther because they thought movies led by Black actors didn't perform well at international box office. Iger noted Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige was on board from the start. And let me see. All right, so I've been in business for a long enough to have heard every old argument in the book, and I've learned that old arguments are just that, old and out of step with where the world is and where it should be. Iger wrote, we had a chance to make a great movie and to showcase an underrepresented segment of America, and those goals were not mutually exclusive. I called Marvel chairman Ike Perlmutter, and I told him to tell his team to stop putting up roadblocks in order that we put both Black Panther and Captain Marvel into production. Black Panther, set almost entirely in Africa, was the first superhero movie to feature a predominantly Black cast. Captain Marvel was the first Marvel Cinematic Universe movie to be headlined by a female character. Both movies grossed over $1 billion. Black Panther was the highest grossing movie domestically of 2018 with $700 million and is the 11th highest grossing movie of all time. It won 3 Oscars. It was nominated for Best Picture earlier that year. Marvel Studios stressed that diversity will be a focus moving forward. Now, this is before DEI. This is way before DEI, right? He said, let's just focus. We need to focus on diversity, which is something that Star Wars talked about, right? MCU's first movie starring an Asian superhero, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, comes to theaters in 2021, and a Black Panther sequel is in the works. When you have diverse voices, you get better stories, and you get more exciting stories. You get more surprising stories. Feige told Variety last year, and that's something that has been very clear. So let me see. And that's the end of the article. But we already knew that people were fighting against eternally. They didn't want to see it. They did not want to see it. Right? They did not want to see it. Now, me personally, I don't work in a hive mind. I don't ride the fence either. We already know that Marvel has been doing some trash for a good minute. They're trying to course correct. I truly believe they're trying to course correct right now. I believe that meeting, where people, like it or not, that meeting they had in Palm Springs was them trying to course correct. That's it. They were just trying to course correct and try to do something different. Now, did they hit the panic button? Yes. But the multiverse storyline, especially the way that things was going, was just not good. Hell, when you got a character, when you make a movie with a character making fun of what you've been doing, tells a story. And that's exactly what's been happening. I'm not going to sit up there and give them no props. I'm not going to sit there and pat them on the back. Look what they did to Mahershala Ali. Mahershala Ali was announced to do Blade in 2019. What happened? 2020, Ironheart was announced. And after 3 years of production, plus stoppage because of the strikes and everything, we're just not getting it. But where was her, just featuring in something besides a cartoon that a lot of people did not, their casual audience did not watch that. Your casual audience is not going to watch What If. Diehards is going to watch it, and half of them, because of everything that has been going on as far as the writing and all of that, has been bad. I'm not going to sit there and act like it's great. You had a story of Jonathan Majors, and then you turned around and wrote the ending of Quantumania trash. You know what I mean? And then you sat in the wait to fire the dude. You know what I mean? Look at what you've done when you could have had. James Gunn is about to be Marvel's biggest competition, because I think I'm not saying he's the world's greatest director or whatever, but I believe that he has a direction, something, his Guardians movie had that a lot of the MCU movies did not have. Right? They didn't have. They had direction, themes, character development. Something that I would give the Thunderbolts great props on. But the Thunderbolts, aka the new Avengers, which again, they're the Dark Reign Avengers, they're not the actual Avengers. People who know comics should know that, right? So those characters are B, C, D list characters. But because you had a great writing and good direction, people start feeling sorry for John Walker. Ghost was just there because, let's undercut her development. Yelena beloved. The new big red Santa Claus, Red Guardian. People like Red Guardian. He's funny. Well, of course, he's played by a great actor. David Harbour's an amazing actor. People love Bucky. And then you wrote a character, even though the void that was in the movie is nowhere close to the void in the comics. Voided Comics would have ripped everybody apart. Not sitting through a therapy session. But I digress because I like the movie. Daredevil. Kevin Feige said, you know what I'm going to do? I know I written this, but scrap all of this stuff. Let me get the original creators of Daredevil from Netflix and bring them on because I need that tone. And guess what? The 3 episodes that they did wasn't bad whatsoever. It was amazing. It was actually awesome. As you could tell the tonal switch. Of course, I covered the show. And let me just say this one last thing. Because of the success of Sinners, I know that a lot of y'all don't like Ryan Coogler for reasons that I do truly understand, right? He should have never got rid of the character T'Challa. Never. I completely agree with you. But look at what he did with original IP. And let's just say, for the sake of argument, that because Brian Michael Bendis also created Miles Morales, who is sitting right here, right? You know, Ultimate Fallout, the Spider-Man No More were a derivative of Spider-Man. In the Ultimate Universe, Spider-Man dies. Guess who becomes the new Spider-Man of that universe? And then what happened once he got on film? The movie was awesome. Into the Spider-Verse and Across the Spider-Verse was good movies. What if, just say for the sake of argument, what if this is a good show? It actually makes Riri Williams a likable character. Are you shoe booties? I know some of you shoe booties still gonna follow, up the far right rings, Dookie shoe hole, and have your face all up in it. Because y'all can't help yourself. Y'all shoe booties can't wait to step and fetch. Matter of fact, for y'all that's just now coming in here, let me just give y'all this disclaimer real quick about the shoe booties.
Taste the biscuit. Taste the goodness of the biscuit. Taste the honey sauce. Taste the goodness of the biscuit with the honey sauce.
I mean, these people can't wait. These people cannot wait. But what if we take our emotions out of this and actually just watch the show and say, you know what? This ain't bad. This ain't bad whatsoever. DeAndre Mosley, thank you so very much for the $5 super chat. Sam Wilson, Captain America, has only been in 2 projects within 6 years. This is between them. Yeah, he's supposed to lead the Avengers. I agree. It's one of the most ridiculous things I've ever saw in my life. Just think about it like this. Wong was in more things than Captain America. Just think about that. Please keep the butter biscuit jingle, Dre. Oh, it's staying. It's staying. That's why I made it right before I got on. You know what I mean? And again, shout out to Toria Rain Reloaded. Y'all need to go follow the brother. You know what I mean? But let me go ahead, DeAndre, with that super chat. I appreciate you. Let's go here.
Gang banging, gang banging, gang banging.
Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much for that super chat. Sorry, I had a. But let's get to some of you guys' comments. Let me see. I'm not shocked or surprised that some MCU fans are making racist comments. I'm not. It said, let me see. Taste that honey sauce. I was wondering what. Shout out to Tyreek Nasheed, because that's the first time I heard it. Was Tyreek Nasheed. Let me see. What you say? Racism is at an all-time high. They hate us. Wow. He said, what the whole hell? Y'all got to see the video. That video was hilarious. Because y'all was surprised. You know what I mean? But again, their universe is so, what Marvel's problem is, their universe is so all over the place that they just thought, put it on Disney Plus because we're so successful, people are going to watch. And no, people are not going to watch. Wong was in She-Hulk, Shang-Chi, No Way Home, Doctor Strange. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It was in more stuff than actual Captain America. Captain America should have been in Thunderbolts. If you're gonna sell me on Sam Wilson being Captain America, he needs to be front and center on everything. Post-credit scenes, whatever. He needs to be what Sam Jackson was. Something. But what you see wrestlers in the background, right? And me and Chillmonger, shout out to my man Chill, we always talking about, the push, right? When you push a wrestler, whether he's a heel or a face, you can tell when the push is coming in, right? He's more prominent. He's on everything. They book him well. You know what I'm saying? He wins matches. He might win cleanly, but even if he does lose, there's some shenanigans, that ensues. So when you lose, I'm like, well, they cheated. But what they do when they do a push and they do an organic push, they make you like the character. Because you just like them. You don't know why you like them. You just like them. You know what I mean? You just like them. And that's something that Marvel has not done. I'm going to tell you like this. They did it with, DC did it with Peacemaker. Peacemaker is literally a D-list character in DC. Matter of fact, I've never even heard of Peacemaker until the Suicide Squad with James Gunn. Then, because John Cena was a breakout character, they decided to make a show, which made it even better. And that was a starch John Cena hater. You can't see me. You know what I mean? Because they made him a face too long. Like, dude, he's getting boring. Until he became Peacemaker, and he became awesome. Just saying. I'm using wrestling knowledge, but, in the comics, he's nowhere close to that prominent to be in everybody's face. That's because Benedict Wong is a great character actor. He's funny. He's charismatic. But I don't need charismatic. I need Captain America to be putting the Avengers team together. I need Captain America not to be fighting Red Hulk. You know what I'm saying? Give him a therapy session to calm his ass down. Literally, we just seen that with the Century. We literally seen it with the Century, but then we just seen it in Captain America Brave New World. But the difference between Brave New World and the Thunderbolts was they did it better. And Captain America should have been a cameo in that movie. What's hard? Or Secret Invasion. I know you want to say Secret Invasion was 100% garbage pail juice. And you have an actor like Don Cheadle and you have an actor like Samuel L. Jackson, and look what they did. They're literally showing you. I got about 6 more minutes of this show left before I get up out of here. They're trying to make such a big story that they forget just heroes and villains doing super things draws us into liking or hating a character. What's the problem? I'm gonna tell you what the problem is the divisiveness online when you have people, black and white hating on a character for obvious reasons. They're not even trying to hide their hatred. Because she's black. She's a black woman. If this was a young white girl, they would have had no problem. Young Asian girl, they would have, and matter of fact, because the people that live in their bubble only see that Asian people are smart, and You know what I mean? That's why I gave you guys a history lesson on black engineers and black women who done an amazing things in this society. Amazing things. So don't get it twisted. I'm not a bottle cap, so you can't get me all twisted up. You know what I mean? That's the problem. And you have these people with these big ass platforms that get pushed through the internet way more than I will. That's the problem. And people fall into this is woke, this is DEI, this is woke, this is DEI. And then you have the Tyrone Madnesses, the Stevie Knights of the world, you know what I'm saying, who do what? What do Stevie Knight and Tyrone Magnus eat?
Taste the biscuit. Taste the goodness of the biscuit. Taste the honey sauce. Taste the goodness of the biscuit with the honey sauce.
Taste the biscuit. That's what I'm saying. That's what they out here doing. Taste the biscuit. Because it's easy to grift. It's, you know how, I'm going to tell you like this. Before I let you guys go, the ones who don't know me, what's up, Evolutionary Comics? What's good? What's good? What's good? I'm going to tell y'all this. I'm going to play this every time. Every time somebody even mentions Stevie Knight, Tyrone Madness, or any of them shoe booties who grifted, that's what I'm playing. I'm playing it every single time. But I'm gonna tell you guys the honest to God's truth. One of the reasons why I literally quit podcasting, and this is evident, it's on my TikTok, so I can't hide anything. But I quit podcasting because fighting for black people when I was getting attacked by other black people was the hardest thing that I could ever imagine. Was literally getting, and I wasn't out here like, we're victims. You know what I mean? Now, I'm not going to play a victim card, but I'm not going to act like there's not a cause and effect in America. You call certain things that, you cause dope in the 80s, and you don't think that has an effect in 2025, 45 years later? Because there's cause and effect. You learn that literally in the second grade. If I smack you, don't be surprised. I can't be surprised if I get smacked back, or there's repercussions, or there's effects of the cause, especially when you don't reconcile those calls, those causes, when you don't fix it. The CIA literally brought, guns and drugs into our neighborhoods. Peachy Cologne came into our neighborhoods. We didn't know how to cook that. A lot of us was too poor to get pure Colombian. So a lot of us was resorted to weed and heroin and shrooms. I mean, not shrooms, and sherm, because I'm old enough to remember this. And then when dope hit our neighborhoods, and we find out that the Reagan Bush administration had a lot to do with that, and then decided to put a war on drugs, and then decided to lock up a lot more men. You know what I'm saying? And following what they did with the Nixon administration, when it was a rise of incarceration, and then you had the second rise of incarceration. And then Bill Clinton didn't make it no better with the 3-strike rule that Joe Biden pushed. That's why I'm not a Democrat nor a Republican. I'm an independent, not a libertarian either. Because this is cause and effect. That's not play a victim. That's honest. Why do you think I put up the statistics of Chicago, and why Riri Williams and Brian Michael Bendis, thinking outside of themselves, say, at least with this is going on, let me give them a hero that they could believe in the midst of the things that was going on, while all of these young black male and female kids are dying in Chicago, while they're making a documentary called Chirac, because these kids are out here dying. Why shoe booties like Academic was trying to, trying to rile up more of the beef for his own personal gain. Well, that's why I'm going after shoe booties and racists. because Brian Michael Bendis had the wherewithal to see what's going on, and it probably felt something like that. He probably felt something. What if he felt, damn, I'm seeing all these black kids getting murdered. Let me create a character they can have hope in. So they can at least see themselves, that they're better than the environment that they came from. That's elevation, y'all. That's what y'all missing. Hey, get Bloodstain's pistol whip out of here. Hey, admins, get him up out of here. I told y'all from the beginning, I ain't got no time for those shoe booties. I ain't got no time for the racists.
Taste the biscuit. Taste the goodness of the biscuit. Taste the honey sauce. Taste the goodness of the biscuit with the honey sauce.
Yeah, get him up out of here. Matter of fact, I ain't got to worry about it. Told you, I'm not playing anybody coming here talking about some woke. I'm not coming here to talking about anybody trash. Not my sister. No. I told you, it's harder sometimes to defend black people when you got other people, black people fighting against you. You got shoe booties and all of that fighting against you. You got the racists fighting against you. So I'm booting you up out of here. I told y'all. I'm not dealing with you butter biscuit eating Negroes. None of y'all. All of y'all could go. All right, Brother Jumer. I'm about to wrap this up. But let me see. Chicago in the house. Black Gen X here. I remember everything Dre is speaking on. So I'm just saying. Yeah, it's always been like that. They got to go. I'm not fooling with them. Don't go do it. Don't go do it. It's not good for you. It's not good for you. But I appreciate you being here, Ty. I appreciate you being in here. But like I said, what do you guys think about this subject? It's a little longer, but I was going to make a video, but I got way too much stuff to do, and I decided just to do this live. But what do you guys think? Just let me know in the comment section of this video what you think about it.
Yo, the sign is real simple, B. It says wrap it up. Wrap that up, B.
Thank you so very much. He said the biscuit song is legendary. Yeah. I need Jamie Lawson to be Storm too, because she is fine. And, even though she got a little extra seasoning down there, I would have did the same thing, Church Boy did. I ain't gonna lie. He said that clip is crazy. He said, I'm a proud black man. I appreciate it. Thank you again, Todd, for coming in here. I appreciate you being a part of the conversation. And, the Asian community, people forget that the Asian community was right alongside the Black Panther Party in the late 1960s, early 70s. People forget that. Yeah, because there's a lot of tap dancing going on too, Rashad. It's a lot of tap dancing. So Ty, you a part of the crew. You want to be a part of the crew? Come on down with the crew. Let me tell you how your days been, Preacher Boy. In 1932, you were funny. One of her co-actors slipped up and called her Storm in an interview. So yes. And shout out to my guys over at Planet Fanatics, my man Darius, the homie Darius. He thinks him and Jamie Lawson and Desmond Idris is going to be T'Challa, whether he's T'Challa from another universe or is he Tucson, but that's who he's predicting is going to be T'Challa in Storm. And happy belated birthday to our master teacher, Brother Malcolm X. A shout out to Brother Malcolm. You know what I'm saying? And to all the people that all the brothers from the fruit of Islam. See, I don't have no problem with my Muslim brothers, my Christian brothers, my Buddhist brothers. I give everybody respect. Everybody respect. So, but the Yellow Panther was an epi, but if you read Last Man Standing, the Geronimo Pratt book, there was a lot of black people that was informants inside the Black Panther that infiltrated the Black Panther Party too, and not the ones that just killed Fred Hampton either. We can't, which I understand what you're talking about. We also got to understand that those people, the FBI infiltrated a lot of things with a lot of people, and they still use our own people. We got to tell the whole story, not just point out one group or other. They use a lot of people to infiltrate what we were doing. Of course, my Israelite brothers, shalom. You know what I'm saying? To all my Israelite brothers too. You know what I mean? So yeah, COINTELPRO, y'all got to, like I said, Last Man Standing, man. But anyway, he said, don't forget Asian refugees saw that their countrymen during the Vietnam War. That's why we're here now. It's not just us. You know what I mean? But this is the thing. My thing is to understand each other's plight without pointing the finger. That's why we have divide between, men and women right now, especially in the dating market, is, men against women. You know what I'm saying? The age old tale, you know what I mean? We have our racial tension, which we just need to recognize this shit happened. Sorry, Roberta, but now it's at the end. I'm well over an hour and a half. Look, shit has happened to us. Understand my plight. You know what I mean? While I understand what you're going through or whatever, and just respect it. That's it. And find solutions on the way to make it better. That's it. I'm not sitting up here and just be like, woe is me. No. How can we get solutions for our underprivileged neighborhoods? See, the one reason why I follow a lot of the teachings of the Black Panther Party, because their enemy was who? The government. Poor whites, poor blacks, poor Asians, poor Mexicans, you know what I mean? Poor Middle Easterns, all of this. Poor people versus the elite. That's what it really is for the people versus literally the government. That was the enemy. Not me and you. They want us to be divided so we don't pay attention to what they're doing in the government. Not just the president, the vice president, the House of Representatives, the Supreme Court, the Senate, your local government, all of this stuff. That's the problem. That's literally the problem. So why everybody talking about this woke and propaganda and all of this? The government is sitting there watching y'all be divided. While y'all talk about divide, that's the real divide. It has always been like that. I'm for the people. And it's the people versus them, not you. I'm missing the opportunity to be a brother to somebody, to be to look out for another sister, because I'm inbred and I'm fighting within each other. While they're sitting up there reaping the benefits of us going against each other. That's always been the problem. Power is to the people. That's what that meant. And it's always been like that. Until everybody understands that, we're going to continue to allow the government to use us as puppets. Because the shoe booties one more time can't wait to get their biscuits.
Taste the biscuit. Taste the goodness of the biscuit. Taste the honey sauce. Taste the goodness of the biscuit with the honey sauce.
All right, that's the last time I'm playing that today. That song is funny. I'm sorry. I had to change the monotony up. I had to change it. I had to. Because I can't leave and be my blood pressure be my hypeness is up because I can't go to sleep. Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of the Drake Mack Show. I might if y'all I put this on everything. If you follow me on Instagram, send me people y'all want on the Griff song, the Biscuit Griff song. You know what I mean? And I might do a montage of each person that's out here Griff. That might be too many people. All right, let me let you guys go. Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much for tuning in to another episode of the Dre Mack Show. Again, what did you guys think? Tell me in the comment section below and let me know exactly what you guys think. But don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Don't forget to hit that bell notification so you never, ever, ever miss one of my videos again. Until next time, I'll let you guys later. Peace and vibe here, y'all. Taste the biscuits. Taste the goodness of the biscuit. I want that to be the background music now. Where's my outro at? Because you already know. I gotta go. Wait a minute. You're telling me the video's over? What? Huh. Okay, I guess so. If you have came to this portion of the video, thank you so very much for sticking to the end. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit that little bell notification so you never miss one of my videos. And if you really want to, you don't got to, go ahead and follow the social media links that's down below. Until next time, I'll let you guys later. Peace and vibe higher, y'all. Y'all take care of yourself.